full disclosure, I don't think I'm going to ever be one of those well-spoken, non-swearing SOBs on the internet. It's not who I am. So from here on out, I haven't made a video in a couple months because, well, I mean, quite frankly, I've been drunk most of the time. But other than that, I've had to come to grips with not swearing in my videos, and the fact that I don't really have time to set up cameras and get all the proper shots and there's editing and everything else when you come up on projects. But this is a 7.3 oil cooler. A buddy of mine came into my house the other day and said, "Hey, I need you to move your truck because we're going to take down a tree." We took down the tree, but the truck was cold. It was 20 degrees the night before, and as such, these O-rings started leaking precious lifeblood all up my driveway. So I started out the video saying that, look, anybody who does not want to watch my videos because I swear, feel free. Please do not watch my videos. I'm not going to judge you. Hey, you do you, man. I will defend with my life and my honor your right to not watch my videos because this is America. Hoorah, hoorah. With that being fucking said, this is not really a difficult job to do. I'll include a link in the description below where you can go to watch a real how-to tutorial. I'm just giving you a quick little once-over. So you get this oil cooler. This is the, I believe the back part of it. Yeah, this is the back part where your oil filter goes. And there's your block heater, which I use that sucker all the time. This is original 2003. I will be definitely replacing that. Make sure you clean all your parts, gents. You know, don't be a crackhead. Take some pride in your work. Clean the damn thing. This is not obviously ready for gasketing. Took me an hour and a half to get all the gunk off this freaking thing. A lot of forums will say there's no need to actually replace your oil cooler itself because they never get clogged. Well, mine did. Luckily, 3 weeks ago when this first started leaking, I went ahead and bought parts. Let's go check that guy out real quick. So the highlights are the new block heater. That's the part number. New oil filter, because you gotta drain the oil anyway. Luckily, I had 270,000 miles on the truck. It was time for an oil change anyway. The sad part is I had to dump the coolant because obviously this oil cooler uses coolant to cool the oil, and it sucks because that stuff's not cheap. So I ended up buying a Mishimoto stock replacement oil cooler, and then this is the first time I've seen this. See, you know, I used to live in Japan. Japan's a beautiful place with beautiful people. They're wonderful people. It's honestly my second best place on the entire freaking planet. That if America were to be uninhabitable, I would definitely move my ass to Japan. I loved Japan. I loved living there. It was fantastic. Greatest freaking people on the planet other than Americans. But that worries me. It's a Japanese company. Why are you making shit in freaking Chicom fucking China? Seriously. Have some fucking pride, dude. And this is already, what, $260, $270? Could have bought the Ford one for $100 and something. But here I am. All right. We got the part made by Chinese slave labor. Some 8-year-old being whipped by his massa. Put this together. And hold on, let me get this thing out of here. So I got this thing out of the box. You got your gaskets, you got your O-rings, and you got your new oil cooler that is not clogged. It's freaking dirty as shit though. I mean, I would expect that to be a whole lot cleaner. I don't know, maybe it's just glycol that they pressure tested or something. Oh, and anybody who gets offended a couple seconds ago when I was saying about the Chicoms and, you know, they're beating kids with sticks and shit. And, yeah, you know, go fuck yourself because they do. So, you know, it's not my fault that you don't know shit. I'm not politically correct. I never have been. I've been in the military, in the Marine Corps, construction sites, truck driving, machining. I've never, except for twice in my life, I've ever actually worked with a female. One was badass, the other one was kind of not badass. But, you know, she's no longer there. Anyway, I am who I am. So, and again, please do not get offended. And if you do, I kindly, respectfully ask you to go fuck yourself and fuck off. All right? My content is obviously not for you. I'm not worried about children watching my content because, let's be frank, not very many children, no children, I would say, work on 7.3s or operate machinery. So, it's not my fault if your little tyke is watching my content. So, Karens of the world, if you know me, then you know that's hilarious. It's really not my fault. It's your fault. Don't be so confrontational. All right? Respect other people. Respect me. I respect you. That's how this whole thing freaking works. All right? Again, sorry, I'm not making an entire video about how to do this. I will include a link in the description of this. It's a really good video. That's actually what I'm using to do this whole repair. So please, by all means, show that guy some likes, some thumbs up. You know, subscribe to his content. He's got great content on there. Anyway, I'll show you when it's done. But right now, I have to get back to work because it's freaking dark and I ran out of whiskey about 40 minutes ago. So it's fucking cold and I don't have any whiskey. Later. So it's 30 minutes later. And what I figured out was this thing has to be pressed in, just like in the video in the link below. Because when you set this sucker in there, right, and you really don't want to beat on that end because this is pot metal. So you chuck this thing up in some nice pine, you know, so nothing can get damaged. And you take your cylinder, your oil cooler, and put it on top. And you use your 45-inch or 45 ounce brand new East Wing dead blow hammer. And then you muckle it up. Fuck. All right. So it has to be pressed in. And then you come over here. And you've got your... Yeah, I had to open the garage door to get over to this area. So you get your whole setup. And then you realize that this freaking bit... I mean, what the hell is it with engineers? All right. See this little fucking nipple right there? It's offset from the center line. Yeah, which means that it's damn near impossible to press it in unless you have a piece of wood that's 0.3460 of an inch thick to offset the damn nipple that some dickless piece of shit engineer designed on the back of that housing. Why not make the motherfucker flat? These O-rings cannot be put in there without a press, all right? So make the motherfucker flat. I fucking hate engineers. And there it is, like a glove. Thanks to the 0.3640 thick piece of pine that I had to cut. But yeah, that took 2 minutes. Fucking Ford and your stupid fucking engineers. Think about the guy. All right, all you people, all you dudes in engineering school, all right? When you engineer crap like this, think about the guy like me. The 99.9999 infinity% of people who are going to have to fix your fucking design. Think about us. All right? When you design these things, make a flat spot on the back. Because obviously this thing has to be pressed in. You can't hammer it or you're going to damage your hammer. Well, mallet, not really a hammer. But if it has to be pressed in, good. Dude, I'm there. I'm with it. I'm hip. I can deal with it. But give me a flat spot to press against. Please. For the love of freaking God. All right, here comes my next complaint about engineers. Are none of you stupid bastards able to realize that dielectrics are needed when you put a ferrous against a non-ferrous? Do you understand that when you do this, this part welds itself to that part? And then, furthermore, you give nothing to grab onto. I can't use my vise pretty much anywhere to grab on this part because there's no actual square sides. You put a steel fitting into an aluminum housing. You need a dielectric separator in between them, or they freaking weld themselves together. Are you trying to make people scrap the part, and then therefore, you know, we're going to have to go out and buy a new $570, $580 new housing? Is that actually the goal? Or are you people who are in engineering school so vapidly fucking stupid that you cannot figure out that you need a dielectric separation between aluminum and freaking steel? I mean, come on, gents. This is your design. I'm not an engineer, and I know this. Whiskey Tango motherfucking Foxtrot, dude. Straighten the fuck up. So after futzing around with this thing for a couple minutes, I figured out the best way to do this is to chuck this guy up in the vise and then just lightly give it some hey, how you doing, to get it to start to rotate after applying vigorous amounts of heat. And then you got to use your 1 1/8 inch wrench. There's no way I can do this with one hand, but hold on. It is loose. Yeah, see, it is turning now. So apparently all I got to do to unfuck what engineers did is you have to be smarter than an engineer, which apparently, according to this, and according to 30 plus years of turning wrenches, I am smarter than an engineer. I can't tell you how many times as a plumber and as a mechanic, I have found steel directly put into aluminum. No, never. That should never be done. Ever. Bad engineer. Smack. Bad. And for any engineers out there who want to say, oh, well, that's stainless steel, therefore it can't self-weld to that because therefore it doesn't need a dielectric separation. Well, looks like you fucking failed engineering school and material sciences, because that, my friend, is certainly not stainless fucking steel. So, come on. It's a hot liquid going through two dissimilar metals. All right, you're going to build up corrosion inside of this. And this little Loctite, maybe thread sealant, whatever the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot this stuff is, yeah, that's not going to stop it. All right, this gets up to what, 200 degrees, 230, 280, something like that. I don't freaking know. I'm not an engineer. All right, I didn't design this. You people did. But I'm smart enough to know when ferrous metal should never be touching non-ferrous metal, especially when you have a hot liquid like water going through it. I swear, sometimes it just drives me to drink. All right, hour 3. Trying to put the other side in, and it keeps buggering off ever so slightly. Unlike the guy in the video, the one I recommended down below, he says just use your finger in there. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Well, at least it doesn't for me. So you can see it's not going on straight. Why, Bo? Why is it not gonna go on straight? Well, let me tell you, Jimmy. Because there's no flat spots on the fucking thing. It is now 9:30 at night. My wife is on the way home from grabbing beer. She's out of town. Called her up and said, look, this thing's, honestly, kicked my ass. I got it, though. So, I was able to press it in, finally. It's fully seated. Oh, yeah, make sure you got it in the ears, because if not, you'll have a bad day. And I respect the dude in the video that I recommended, the one who I watched to try to get figure out what I need to do with this. He just used a pry bar, got it in there. Hey man, mad respect for you. I wasn't about to trust my pry bar skills because I break things very easily, especially pot metal aluminum. But I hope I'm going to do this right. So I'm using my mill here, and because I was a dumbass and installed the block heater beforehand, I found a nice little spot over here in the corner where it hangs off, and it was a little bit out of kilter, so I gave it a couple few love taps, very light love taps. So now both faces are flat. So let's go put this thing on there finally, 4.5, 5 hours later. And hopefully I didn't wreck anything. Guess we'll find out. Well, it's back in there. That shiny bit, that's the oil cooler. You'll recognize that guy from a previous video I made about the water pump. I'm telling you, man, riff raff. They've got good shit. So I don't apologize if you hear clicking and clanging. It's this stupid lanyard that I have on my phone. Can I see anything from in here? Yeah, that's the tailpiece of it. That's my new block heater I put in last night. Yeah, my wife didn't get back till like almost 10 o'clock with the beer, so I said, screw it, I'm done with this stuff. All right, for the next part, it's gonna be a little bit shaky because I'm doing this on an iPhone. So I bought one of these things recently. There's the part number, because I got tired of doing math with my old trusted, tried and true inch torque wrench. And for anybody curious, you're working on a 7.3. Let's see if I can get this in focus here. So you go above the 120 and number 8 on the center line, that's 216 inch-pounds. That's 18 foot-pounds. So I pretty much leave this on 18 because I don't know, lucky me, everything on a Ford pretty much is 18 foot-pounds. Now I bought this because, like I said, I got tired of doing the math, right? But then the first time I used it, it gives me this code, LO. And the worst part is this freaking thing does not come with a manual. It took me 2.5 hours last night to figure out what button combinations, you know, 33 to the left, 22 to the right, 19, and she's hot and horny. I finally got it set for regular measurements instead of foreigner measurements, because it's set to like Newton meters or some crap like that. When I first got it, I used it once and set to LO. Like I was alluding to a second ago, it does not come with a manual. There's no manual that comes with this. So that's fucking junk. Well, let me show you what I've done. Again, I do everything from I'm like a not so good woman. I do all my good work on my back. Now what I am concerned about is that this is all torqued down and there's a dribble, which means it's probably going to leak. There's that bolt there. There's the one on top. Come over to the back. I hope the orientation's right, but I don't know. You got that bolt right there, that bolt right there, and that bolt right there. So it fit in perfectly the way that I did it. Again, I am a little bit concerned about that dribble. So I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do at this point. But let me see if I can't stop this thing from dripping, and I'll be back. So in today's episode of I'm a Dumbass, when I was putting the oil cooler in from the back and going forward, yeah, my stupid ass. Let's see if I can get this up there. When I was going through this cavity, pushing it forward, the gasket fell off and landed on top of this bracket. So, sorry, Mishimoto. It definitely was not your gasket that caused the issue. It was this guy. I did that. So yeah, I wanted to correct the record, because, you know, not a liar. I'm an uncouth SOB, but not a liar. So yeah, all right. Now I'm going to put the gaskets on the actual, I have to clean it again. I'm gonna put the gaskets on the block itself, so when I'm pushing the freaking oil cooler in it doesn't get bumped around, because you have to kind of push it in and then turn it and go up and turn it again to get it through that little maze underneath this gigantic engine saddle. So yeah, all right, do this again.
And now for something completely different.
I want to take this moment in celebration while I stretch up my back, because that sucked, to bring up a couple different products. This is a Matco PC Fold G. All things considered, it's a pretty decent light. The problem is, it's relatively new, and I had it charging all night. I've used it for 2 hours, and we're down to one bar. Now, let me run you through the motions here. Power button on the back. Low light, bright light, UV light, front light. And it works even when it's collapsed. The magnet is quite strong. I mean, you can put this sucker anywhere you want, and it's going to stay. But my only bitch about it is 2 hours, and she's dead. We went over this briefly earlier. I don't know, no manual, so that's freaking useless. This guy here from Olight, it's pretty damn good light. I have a couple of quirks about it. How am I gonna do this with one hand? Use my armpit. All right. Magnetic base is very strong. When you pull out of the holster, it's decently bright light, and you gotta rotate this little sucker around. It is a pretty good light. My only complaint is the way that they charge. They charge with a magnetic bottom. So being a metal guy, oh yeah, and when you charge it, you gotta have it in its little case, because that's the charger port. Well, when you got the flashlight out and you're using it and you're grinding metal, or you're just being in a shop, I mean, you're going to have metal shavings all the time. If any metal shavings, like that little junk in the bottom right there, this will not charge. And because it's a pretty strong magnet, getting the metal shavings out of there is next to, not exactly, but next to impossible. So this guy here slides into there, then you plug this guy into your USB, and then that's how you charge it. I would say the best flashlight, everyday carry light I've ever come across. This has the same magnetic charging Huya on the bottom, but that's easy. You just wipe it and you're good to go. Is this guy. It's got a laser for pointing at things, which it goes great with what I do for my day-to-day job, my 6:30 to 3 o'clock job. I'm an industrial mechanic, so we're in huge maintenance rooms, mechanical rooms, some of them 20, 30, 40 feet high, and you're trying to tell your guys the valve that they have to change, and you point to it with a laser. That's pretty cool. It's got a little UV light on it. Great for my extracurricular activities as a mechanic, and it's got a pretty decent flashlight. The O-lights, these batteries, at least for me, the way that I use them, will last about a month. I've had that one for about 4 months. I only use that one when this light does not provide enough light, like in these big rooms. That light I've only charged one time in 4 months of owning it. This light I've charged 3 times in over a year. This thing will last such an unbelievably long time. Olight really has great technology. They've got great batteries. I don't like their magnetic charging, because those charger cables you can't buy anywhere. And last time I contacted Olight for one of my lights, the previous light, the two that I have right now, they don't sell just the charging cables. You got to buy a whole new friggin' light. Now, this was right about, I remember like something like $300. This was about 120-ish, 100, maybe 140. This one I got on sale for like 75. It was a Halloween special, the blood stains and so forth. But they have these in different colors: orange, blue, green, you know, all your normal Crayola colors. Oh, these battery companies who are making everything, they have rechargeable batteries internal. You know, everybody needs to do what Olight does. There's no reason that a work light only lasts 2 hours and it takes like 5 hours to charge it up. And then stuff like this, you know, at least include a manual. I'm sure somebody out there has got these things to work properly. I don't know how to reset the stupid LO code. I don't know what the LO code even is. Oh, there you go. So it's been off for, I don't know, an hour now, and it finally reset. I don't know what LO is, because after all, there's no manual. There's my yelling at clouds moment while I rest my back and drink my favorite beer. All right, now I gotta put this truck back together. So I may have found something that doesn't piss me off and does not make me angry and yelling at clouds. These guys. These are little cloth diapers, and they only absorb oil. They do not absorb water. They do not absorb coolant. I bought this about a year ago. I really haven't had any use for it because I usually just use oil dry. But now I have a situation where, due to this oil cooler job, I've got mixture of oil and coolant in my Mason tray, right? And I found these by watching a video a year, maybe 2 years ago, from a YouTuber named Stephen Cox. And watch this. This is pretty cool. So soak this guy right in there. I'm not gonna be gentle. I'm just gonna soak this right in there. See the coolant's on there, the oil's on there, and then watch this. It only absorbs the oil. Ain't that freaking neat? Something that actually works. Doesn't take lithium batteries. It removes just the oil without any of the coolant, which normally I wouldn't give a shit, but you know, I'm not a barbarian. You know, that my dump takes coolant and they take oil. It's not cool to screw up. Oh yeah, that's the last one, or really the first one. Those things actually work. So if you need to separate oil from coolant, definitely give these guys a shot. Okay, here I am. I'm done. We've got shit. You see green, that means there's coolant in the degas tank. I only have one hand because I'm holding the phone to the right, but I've checked the oil. We're good to go. Man, this actually used about 6 gallons of coolant. Luckily, I had extras. Got the block heater on because we want favorable results. Yeah, that's right. Don't get old, kids. Let's see if I can see in here. That's the top. No leaks. And over here, the back, if you can see it, that's the son of a bitch. That's the new block heater. I'm testing it out right now. Let's get up underneath it. Get ready for motion sickness. Fat guy under little truck. I'll flip this phone. Yeah, and where it's dripping earlier, from there, it's no longer dripping. It's amazing what happens when a dumbass like myself actually puts the freaking gasket. Sorry, Miss Yamamoto. I know I spoke ill about you several moments ago, but yeah, if you put the gasket in there, it works fantastic. So forgive me for everything I said. Hold on, I'll get there. Son of a bitch. I just had to go underneath the rotor. Let's dial that down a little bit here. All right. Can I focus this? I hate technology. I really do. Yeah, no leaks. New dump valve from Full Force Diesel. This is my second one that I bought. UPS lost the first one. They're like 25, 30 bucks. So now I got that guy on there. And I know you're supposed to use these little magnets at the bottom of the filters, but the filters are round, and I've done 4 oil changes on this truck, or 5 oil changes on the truck, because this one I just did was the 5th since I bought it. And I don't see any change, or no, as it was, I don't see any actual metal deposits in here. So I'm hoping is if I put this magnet here, son of a bitch. Put the magnet there, the next time it drains, all the debris that's over here should, I'm hoping anyway, go to the drain port and drain it all out. But there's my new oil cooler, new block heater. Let me show you the old block heater. Stand by. So I've been a fan of the 0373 Ford F350 ever since the first one I bought in 2003. It was like $19,000 or $22,000 back then. And all the forums that I've been on since then, they've said that all the block heaters, they never go bad. This one still works. It's not bad. But seeing that I was already doing this job, I might as well go and replace the stupid thing, right? It was like, I don't know, $50, $60, $70, whatever it was. But the peace of mind that I have to not have a new one in there, and you can see the corrosion. And I don't know if this copper plating was original. I think it was. I think the copper plating was original. All those deviations in there may have eventually caused it to fail. But, I mean, honestly, dude, whoever engineered this really did a great freaking job. So currently, we're pulling 830 watts out of the block heater. I want to warm the truck up before I try starting it with the lovely Ford key, which I must have misplaced because, oh yeah, I put it in the ignition already. Yeah, so I'm almost done. Again, look in the description. There's a really great how-to video about how to do step by step by step by step on this. Don't look at mine and say, oh, I'm going to do it, you know, this guy's way, my way. Watch his first. Yeah, I took a short deviation from his because I use the hydraulic press to do both sides of the oil cooler versus just doing the one side and using a pry bar to kind of work it in. But I've been known to put way too much force on something, especially if you can't see it. And as you see, there's not a lot of space underneath that truck to get my big ass underneath there. I didn't want to put too much in there. It's cold. It's like 30 degrees right now. And that's Freedom units, not Foreigner units. Yeah, so I'm very much looking forward to, in about an hour after my block heater warms up a little bit, going to try to start it. I got new injectors, new cups. The whole fuel system's been revamped. I don't need the block heater, but again, this entire oil leak started because I was not using a block heater on that one cold morning. It was like 20, 25 degrees or so. And that caused that one seal to, I guess, shrink up, which sent alarm bells into my head and saying, all right, well, now I'm going to spend $650 freaking dollars. Yeah, that's how much this thing cost to do the new oil cooler with the seals, new oil, which I needed an oil change anyway, and new coolant. So, and the new block heater. Like $650. That's how much this costs. So, peace of mind. If you're ever doing this job, go ahead and buy a new block heater. Why not? Yeah, it probably would have worked for another, I don't know, a year, 5, 10 years in the future, but now I don't have to worry about it. So I'm just going to hang out and drink some more beer and wait for this thing to warm up. And then we're going to start it. All right, well, she's running. With no drips. Let me show you downstairs. Hold on. I'm going to call that good. Good to go. Another repair done on a 2003 F350 single rear wheel truck, man. These things are awesome. As long as you remember to always make sure that you have all the gaskets that you put on the vehicle. Make sure the gaskets are actually on the vehicle. If you do that, you're probably good to go. These things will run forever. Alright, well, I'm going to put the wheel well back in, put the tire back on, and go drink some beer. Later.